Hey guys, in this video I want to give you a 4-step process to analysing visuals, and the way I'm going to do that is go through VCA's 2016 exam. So just for background information, this article was about a town called Lawton, which is suffering from a lack of tourism, and a solution proffered by the town mayor was to then introduce a giant attraction in the middle of the town to celebrate its local produce. And we can see that in our cartoon here. The first thing you want to do when you see a visual is use the text as a springboard. What I mean by that is just finding some quotes from the article that link to the visual at hand. The passage that I'm going to go to is where the mayor has first introduced the idea of building the giant attraction. So the passage is as follows, and all I'm going to do is find a quote that I think works. You could honestly pick anything and there's no right answer, but I think what I'll do is talk about how she wants something to become the town's emblem, so our emblem. In terms of phrasing it, all you need to say is the author's suggestion of the giant attraction becoming the town's, quote, emblem is reflected in the visual. The next step is to describe what you're literally seeing in the visual, and that's really simple. All you need to say is the cartoon illustrates a giant watermelon placed in the centre of the town. So the next step is a little bit trickier, and that's when you want to think about your visual in a symbolic way. There are a couple of things that you might choose to look for, and we can go through that together. I think the most important thing in this picture is to look for scale. The watermelon is huge, okay? So it's even bigger than the church's town over here. And perhaps that's suggesting that the watermelon is going to force the town members to compromise some really important values of going to church. There are some tourists flocking to the watermelon. It's sunny skies. There's someone visiting the town over here and they look quite excited by it. And then there's some fresh watermelons here. So watermelon is obviously a key theme of the visual here. It's also really important to think about conventions. Cartoons tend to be satirical. So you could argue that the cartoonist here is potentially mocking the idea of having a giant watermelon in the middle of the town. And the fact that there is watermelon everywhere is sort of furthering that idea. There are heaps of other things that you can try to look for in visuals, so things like facial expressions, juxtaposition between two sort of ideas, colour, shade, lighting, also where different things are positioned. They're all really helpful in deriving a symbolic meaning from our visual. The final step is to discuss how the visual is adding or detracting from the writer's argument. So obviously, if the author is suggesting we should have a watermelon or we should have a giant attraction, and then the visual is as follows, where it's talking about how a giant watermelon would just be ridiculous, obviously the cartoonist is undermining the author's argument. So all you need to do is follow that 3-step process and you'll ace your visual analysis. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.